Haunted schools have been depicted in many television shows and movies for as long as storytelling has been around. But did you know that there are many real schools that are believed to be haunted? With an astounding number of examples, historical accounts and more, it's easy to see why so many think they are in fact haunted. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 of the most eerie and spooky schools. El Paso High School Ghost. We're starting off with one of the most haunted schools in the United States, El Paso High School. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it should come as no surprise as to why a ghost would want to haunt students. Many people come and go from high school each and every year, and it's a place where students discover who they truly are. With a large number of people dealing with bullying, family issues, and problems with self-confidence, high school isn't always as glamorous as it seems. El Paso High School is not referred to as one of the most haunted schools in the United States for no reason. The events that took place there are something out of a horror movie and are almost unbelievable. In order to fully understand what happened at El Paso High School, you must first be able to put yourself in the shoes of a student and learn about its history. The school has always been indescribably beautiful, with marble flooring along the halls, wooden floors in the classrooms, and one of the first concrete stadiums in the United States. The school sits atop a mountainside that overlooks the city, which led to its nickname being the Lady on the Hill. El Paso High School was officially recognized as a historical landmark in 1980 and was known for its highly esteemed graduates, competitive athletics team, and stunning campus. So, what went wrong? How did this seemingly normal high school take on so much paranormal activity? Well, before it was a school, the basement was used as an overflow morgue that would temporarily hold bodies from World War II until the families were informed of their loved ones passing. With this dark history known among students, some were curious enough to go exploring in the hopes of discovering a body or other interesting artifacts, and stumbled upon classrooms. The classrooms appeared to be in pristine condition, but were blocked off with no reason given as to why they were not being used. Students began to question what had really happened in those classrooms, and if there was more to the story. Beyond those eerie details are a number of supernatural occurrences that took place within the school walls. Many had reported hearing the slamming of doors and sounds of students playing games in the gym when the school was completely empty, and there was no trace of people nearby. The one story that stands out as genuinely haunting is from a teacher that worked at El Paso High School. As he was leaving the building to go home after staying late at work, he came across a girl in a blue dress at the end of the hallway. He was about to tell her to leave since it was after school hours. When she turned around, the teacher watched as her sad face disappeared into thin air. After that, numerous others had mentioned seeing a ghost of the same girl, and it was eventually tied to a girl who had slit her wrists and jumped off a school balcony. The area where she jumped has been blocked off, but students still claim to see the ghost of her body standing at the balcony and jumping off. El Paso High School has another ghost story from a class picture taken in 1985 of the graduating class. At first glance, nothing seems unusual about the photo, but after further examination, you can see a faded young girl in a white dress, mixed into the row of teachers. After investigating the unknown figure, no one knew who the girl was. While we may not ever find out, it's safe to say that El Paso has a haunted history that no one is sure what will happen in the future. Lambertville High School. Our next mysterious and haunted school is Lambertville High School in New Jersey. The school was first constructed in 1854, and the original structure had mostly burned in a fire in the early 1920s. There were many rumors spread about the fire, claiming the lives of 50 students and some teachers. However, it was rebuilt and remodeled and was still in use as a school. Another rumor about a player named Billy from the Buckeyes football team circulated after they came to play Lambertville High. After Billy was piled and jumped on by the Lambertville players, they discovered he had actually passed away. Some said they saw his broken neck and head turned completely around on his corpse. From that day on, Billy was believed to have haunted the halls of the school, even after it was closed and abandoned. The haunted story claims that if you visit the school at night and say, "Billy, I challenge you to a football game," your neck would be snapped and you'll pass away instantly. Of course, this has never been recorded to have actually happened, but it still remains an ominous tale today. In 1992, another fire was set in the school by vandals, and after that, it was abandoned. Eventually, the school was demolished in 2012, and although the school no longer stands, the ghost stories still remain alive. Pennsylvania State University. Our last haunted school is Pennsylvania State University, otherwise known as Penn State or PSU. The university was founded in 1855 as an agricultural college, but eventually introduced other programs such as engineering. When the engineering program took off, more degrees were introduced and enrollment figures were doubling each year. So what's so scary about Penn State? For starters, the hauntings began when a student lost their life in 1969 at the library. She was working on a paper and was brutally punctured by a knife from behind. A librarian was made aware of the slaughter when a mysterious man mentioned a woman on the floor not moving. She was found on the floor of row 51. The person who conflicted this brutal stabbing was never caught, and the case has remained open. Ever since, the rows have changed throughout the library, but many have heard screams, gasps, and seen bloodstains. However, there doesn't seem to be an explanation for these sounds or the blood. Besides the library, Penn State is also said to be home to another ghost. Atherton Hall is one of the oldest buildings on campus, and students believe that Frances Atherton, the late wife of the school's former president, is haunting the building. Students have claimed to see doors open and close without a person there to do it, as well as seeing her ghost looking out of the window from the top floor. There have been many other supposed ghosts found on campus. In fact, students have also heard the footsteps of a house mother who patrolled the floors at night after curfew to make sure no one was coming in late. Current students who live in the building have said they hear footsteps randomly late at night. Unfortunately, the haunting doesn't stop there. Schwab Auditorium is another hotspot for paranormal activity. The theatre is also believed to be home to the ghost of a former janitor. Unusual activity such as hearing heavy footsteps, doors creaking open, and finding objects mysteriously relocated is enough to convince many students of the ghost's existence. With so many haunting stories and experiences taking place at Penn State, a former student formed a paranormal research society in 2006. The purpose of the club was to investigate paranormal cases to try and make sense of them. The group became popular within the school and eventually caught the media's attention, and they had their own reality series on television. Eventually, the club was handed off to younger students who continue to study the unusual events that take place at the university and surrounding areas. At this point, nothing groundbreaking has been discovered, but with many eyes watching and learning about paranormal activity, they just might arrive at some answers one day. Have you seen a ghost or had similar experiences? Are there any haunted places where you're from? For those who believe in ghosts and have seen them for themselves, these places are unbelievably frightening. There are also many non-believers who visit and have a scary interaction with the supernatural forces. Although we can't exactly prove their existence yet, there's no telling what we'll discover in the future. We might just have to wait for ghosts to appear before our eyes in order to fully believe. But what do you make of these stories of these haunted schools? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.